Okay, so
All right.
Greg, so the first thing that was kind of the late breaking news in the last week or so, and really has been the story of the summer, is really all these movies that are continuously being pushed back or sent to streaming. Tenet, the Christopher Nolan movie, was supposed to be the first big Hollywood blockbuster to make it to theaters. July 17th was the release date. It's now been pushed back to the end of July. Wonder Woman 1984 was set for August. They just recently announced that has been pushed back to October. And then even as recently as a couple days ago, I'm sure everybody's sad about this, but the SpongeBob movie has even been yanked from theaters and is now on streaming. Which, of course, the Scooby-Doo movie did that, and the Trolls movie went to streaming. Lots of movies have been moving to streaming. So I guess, Greg, what's your take on this? Do you feel like we're gonna be back in theaters? I mean, it started off like, hey, maybe it's June. Then it was July. Now it's like maybe August. What do you think?
It's one of those, like you said, it's one of those hard things. I mean, I understand the theater owners completely.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got these great businesses, and also with the consumers. I mean, people want to get out. They want to see movies the old-fashioned way now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's still a lot of concern. And like you said, I think, they keep pushing everything back, thinking that maybe the theaters will open up more. Because, like, you've had the folks on, and we've talked with them about how it might be like you and your wife or me and my wife can sit next to each other, but then there'll be 2 seats, or 3 seats empty on the other side.
Right.
So it's almost one of those where right now they're getting like $20, per pop for video on demand.
Right.
Which is pretty much what you'd be paying for the 2 tickets, anyway.
Sure.
So I'm thinking that even if they do push this stuff back and still want to have a theatrical release, they're still going to probably do it on video on demand as well. It's just one of those truly wait and see things.
The other piece of the puzzle is the second piece of news that I wanted to bring up for our viewers this week, which is not only are movies getting pushed back, but everybody was kind of wondering, like, what's going on with award season this year? Because usually, like, is the Oscar going to go to Sonic the Hedgehog? Because that was like the only movie that came out this year. But the Oscars, of course, as they are the leaders in the industry when it comes to the award shows, they announced recently that the Oscars are indeed going to be pushed back all the way till April 25th of 2021. Wow. And with that, the eligibility period for film is going to be all the way through February. So right after they announced that, a couple of the other big ones followed suit. The Critics' Choice Awards that we're both a part of.
Our group.
Yep, our group announced that they're going to return for their live Critics' Choice Awards on the CW network on March 7th, which is about 2 months behind for them. It's usually
later,
January.
Than usual.
Yep. And then the Golden Globes now even took the Oscars' old date and are now at the end of February. So all the awards are kind of moving into late February, March, April. It's kind of weird, the movie landscape. Usually we get all those Oscar kind of movies in November, December. I wonder if we're going to start getting them, January, February this year. What do you think of all of the flux with the award shows?
Well, it's just like you said. Yeah, normally our year starts as far as voting and taking things in right in September, right after the Toronto Film Festival.
Right.
So like you said, things may be pushed back later. But then the thing I often wonder is, because Tom, you've been to the award show just like I have for ours.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, what are they going to do? Because, I mean, this is this big group of people. I mean,
hundreds, thousands,
And we're all kind of like glommed together, and people want to, go over and talk to their favorite star. We all have our favorite celebrities, but most of them are a little quirky. Do they want to come out of their house and go into a room with us from Michigan, some guy from New York, one from New Mexico? I mean, or are they just going to say, if I win, mail it to me?
It seems like a disaster waiting to happen. And one more thing that you can kind of be an insider on is, again, we joked at the beginning of the show about, where in the world is Greg Russell, but you really usually are, this is a time of year you're usually flying all over the place doing junkets. Behind the scenes, have you heard anything in terms of the future of the junket industry or the interviews?
Well, we talk about that as well when our groups all get together. And personally, I don't think there's going to be anything, at least for the rest of this year.
Okay.
Because things have to be figured out, with the airlines, the hotels. And again, like you said, does the star now want to be in that room with you? Where, true enough, we're already social distance. We're about, 10 feet apart. But you're looking at people constantly going in that room. Now, I know the days of handshakes gone, you know, like that. But
when you interview Halle Berry, I notice you move your chair a little closer, like maybe 8 feet away from Halle Berry, possibly.
And she still owes me that hug from when she was sick the last time that I now know I'm never going to get.
Oh, man.
As most of you people have seen, you know, like the stuff that Tom and I do when we talk to somebody, they're all, well, just like what we're doing now, these Zoom interviews. And the studios have, you know, gotten onto them because they still want to get the word out about their product.
Yeah.
And they're beginning, I mean, people are now kind of used to seeing them this way.
Sure.
Also, the studios will be saving, they save a lot more money doing this. So who knows? This may be the future of movie interviews.
Wow.
Who knows?
Well, that, folks, is what's hot in Hollywood.